or cardigan? Yeah, okay. Oh no, is it coming out? That might be the one that we're gonna use for this. I'm not opposed to making a completely scrappy project. I'm not sure. Cannot wait. I realize these aren't the most fall colors there ever were. Let's plan some fall projects. I can't believe fall is just a little over a month away, and I thought that now would be a good time to go ahead and plan some fall projects. I don't know that I'm going to plan winter yet, just because I kind of want to leave that open. I wanted to try to challenge myself for fall to only use yarn in my stash. So all the projects that I'm going to be sharing in this video, the ones that I want to make for fall, and also the whips that I already have, are all going to be with yarn that I already have on hand. That way I use up some of the yarn in my stash and also some of the patterns that I already have in my library. I'm hoping that I have a sweater's quantity of yarn for at least 1 or 2 of these projects. I thought now might also be a good time to test out adding things to my queue in Ravelry. I think this way I can prioritize everything and maybe keep myself on track. This year I've really been trying to do a better job of planning, of being intentional about what I'm making and the specific yarn that I want to go with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love new yarn and I love to try new yarn, and I will continue to purchase and try new yarn. However, it always feels good to use up scrap yarn and stash yarn. So let's go ahead and make some plans for fall. I have to say that I've really been enjoying this new process of planning, and it's just been fun to get a little bit more organized and also to remember specifics about projects and also things that I may have really liked about a pattern or liked about a yarn. And so I really am enjoying this kind of planning. It's keeping me motivated for new and fresh projects. So I hope you guys are enjoying it too, and I hope maybe you get some inspiration as well for your fall projects. Let me know down below what your favorite thing to make in the fall is. For me, pretty much always grasshopper outside. Can you hear that? Truly, for me, garments are always my favorite thing to make, and I will make even fall and winter garments in the summer, so I don't have any problem with that, and I don't always feel like I have to do a season specific project. This is just a fun way to remind yourself of the yarn that you have, the projects that you've been wanting to work on. And so I think it'll be a great way to just get re-inspired for this upcoming fall season. Now, I have been doing the fall make along with Knit Collage, and I plan to do this upcoming 2024 fall make along as well. So I'll be super excited to find out what those designs are and to choose a project there. And I'll definitely be purchasing new yarn for that. But that's really the only project I think at this point. Now, I don't know. Don't hold me to it, because sometimes, you know, things come up. I think that that's the only project that I'm going to purchase new yarn for at this point, just for the fall. Now, for the winter, I may have some projects that I want to purchase some new yarn for. But I know for sure that there is some yarn that I want to use. This vintage yarn, I shared it in my podcast. I've also shared it in a short, but I really want to find a project where I can use this vintage yarn because it is so special and so unique. And so I really want to find a project for that. I do have a couple of patterns in mind. I'm just not sure if the weight is correct, so I'll have to look at that. So I've got a few patterns here in my library on Ravelry that I'm going to take a look at, and then I also have some that are just different places. I have some on a hard drive and I have some just on my computer, and so we're going to look at these first in Ravelry because those are probably going to be easier to put in my queue, and then we will just tackle the queue and see if we can figure that out. Go to my library. So I've got a couple here that I know I want to do very soon. This Weekender Crew by Andrea Mowry I really want to do soon, and then the Traveler I also just saw Nitty Natty do, and I really like that as well. I think it's just a really cute hoodie. Of course, I'm working on this Douglas cardigan here. Another whip that I know I want to finish for fall is my Douglas cardigan. I shared this in my Knitting and Crochet podcast. This is a pattern from Andrea Mowry, and I started it, let's see, I can't remember when I started it, but I'll put the date right here. But I am super excited to finish it. So this is just a gray cardigan. I'm using Go Handmade Cozy from Hobie for the main part of the cardigan. And then I've got a little extra detail, just a very minor detail. I'm not quite sure exactly where I'm going to add in the other details, but I've got just a little bit of detail with Ruby and Rose's yarn here in the color Streetcar. And then of course these are the pockets. So this is just scrap yarn here. Oh no, is it coming out? Put my needle stoppers on here. Yeah, definitely need to put some needle stoppers on there. I can't wait to get started on this again. I was going pretty fast and furious on it, but I stopped because I had a couple of gifts that I needed to do. So I'm excited to get going on this again. I feel like I'm just kind of all over the place with things, and I really need to start finishing some things so that I can feel like I've gotten some things done. So this is also on my list from my whips of things that I want to finish for fall. And And then let's see what else we've got. We could also go to my favorites and see what we've got in there. Here we've got the Weekender Crew. Let's see, it's a DK weight yarn. I did think about this pattern in that vintage yarn, but it's not DK, it's Aran. So I don't think that that will work. I don't know that I have a DK in anything that I would want to use for this or have enough yardage of anything, but I really, really love this one and this is high on my list. I may have to just purchase some yarn for this because I don't think I have something that will work, but this one is really cute. Let's go back and see what else we've got. Here's a little sneak peek at one of the gifts I'm making, and I'll share this on my next crochet knitting podcast, but the line Summer Top is the one I'm making, so I'll share that with you and more about that in the future. Let's just look at the Traveler and see what kind of yarn. This is a sport weight yarn. Yeah, definitely don't have enough of a sport weight for that. Now this is really cute. So this is the Rifty. Let's see, this is also sport weight. I just don't think I have a lot of sport weight. I'm gonna have to search for an Aran or worsted weight. Oh, the Tove sweater, that's really cute. That's gonna be lace weight, yeah. Oh, it's Aran though. This might be super cute. It has lace weight, but then lace weight times 3. So holding 3 lace weights together equals Aran. And so this might actually be a really fun project for this yarn. It's really pretty. I like it a lot. I love how just airy it is, and I think that this yarn might go really well with that. So I will have to purchase that pattern, of course, because I don't have it. So it's the Tove sweater by Gregoria Fibers. Because I'm not opposed to purchasing a pattern, especially if I can use up some yarn that I already have on hand. I would really love to use this yarn, and I just think that that would be really pretty with that. But also like to make a sweater for my daughter, so I need to look at yarn that I have there. I do have some fabric yarn that I'd also like to use up, so that's another thing I want to look into. I wouldn't even mind making another one of these Corinne Cardis. Now I've got plenty of the fabric yarn for the inside of the granny squares here, but I don't know if I have enough yardage in any other yarn to use for that. I have quite a bit of yarn in my stash, but a lot of it is just, you know, single skeins or just a couple of skeins, and so it's not like a sweater's quantity worth of yarn, and so I only have a few that might actually work for that, so I'm gonna have to dive into that. I've got several balls of this fabric yarn that I've had for quite a while, and I would love to use it up because I really do want to make another one of these Corinne Cardis. Also, I want to make the Maisie Cardi. So I just don't know that I have enough of a super bulky yarn to use as the main color, and then the inside of the granny squares for this fabric. I could do the whole thing in fabric, but I'm just wondering if that'd be a little bit stiff. I wonder if we just tried it. If we just tried making the granny squares out of this, I feel like that would just be really fun. So I'm gonna look at my pattern and see how many yards I need. Oh my goodness, you guys, I do not remember where this pattern is. All right, let's check somewhere else. Okay, just kidding, it really was on here. So let's see how many yards we need. 150 yards of the main color, and then I know I have plenty of this fabric yarn for the contrast colors. So let me see what I've got. I think it's more of a bulky weight than a super bulky weight. So I do have this Drops Air that I was saving for a knitted pant. That might be really cute to use with this. I did think about using this right here because I definitely have enough if I use the pink and the green. So this is the So Woolly from Premier, but like I said, I think it's more of a bulky weight than a super bulky weight. And this is definitely a super bulky weight. This is the Drops Air I was telling you about. I really was saving this for a pair of knitted pants that I want to make, but I don't know, do I save it for that or do I go ahead and use it for a project? It's tough to decide. So each one of these has 164 yards. Oh my goodness, I would only have to use one of these. In the pattern, there's a really pretty pink one right here. I really love that pink. Of course, this is a lighter pink, but I feel like this would be really cute with these contrasting colors. Now, I definitely would have to tear this fabric yarn even thinner into strips. I actually have a whole tutorial about how I make fabric yarn, and I might even tear some of these strips. Well, these might be thin enough actually. I think these are 1/4 inch, I believe. And then of course this one was larger. I was using it for something else and I don't remember what it was, but I could cut these into 1/4 inch strips and then use it with this Drops Air, and I may only have to use one or like 1.5 of these. I really find it hard to believe that I would only need one, but I think think this like turquoise, this is from Darn Good Yarn. This is Silk Sari, recycled Silk Sari yarn from Darn Good Yarn. This would be really pretty. And then with this color, how pretty would that be? So pretty. And then of course some of these other ones. This would be super cute. This is Knit Collage Wildflower scraps that I have. And then this is also Knit Collage Wildflower. So these could all be really fun with this. And then of course this one that I showed you earlier. I'm gonna lay this all out and then show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so we've got these colors laid out here. I think they're looking really cute. I'm not sure about this one, just because the tones are a little bit different, and I just set 2 of the Drops Air because I wasn't sure if I'd need like 1.5. I mean, depending on the gauge and everything, so we'll just have to see about that. I think the contrast of this neutral kind of light pink will be so cute with all of these bright colors. Oh, sorry, my cat just hit the camera. How pretty is this fabric yarn? I love it so much. It really isn't even showing up quite as bright as it is on camera, or it's bright in person, but it's not showing up that bright on camera. It's got this neon pink in it. I love it. We're about to add in the next color, and I just love this trick that I learned from playing hooky with me, I think. Basically, if you turn your granny square over each time you start a new color, it helps it to lay flatter. It really does work. It's amazing. So I was so happy to learn that tip from her. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to see these colors, you guys. I cannot wait. I realize these aren't the most fall colors there ever were, but you know, that's just me. I can't be doing traditional things. I gotta go bright and crazy. I do love a good neutral or muted tone, but most of the time it's gonna be bright colors. I did leave the yarn attached here just since I was making a practice little granny square, just in case. I always like to leave my yarn attached until the very last moment when I know that I can finally cut the yarn. I did end up cutting just this Silk Sari yarn from Darn Good Yarn, just because there were so many yarn strands that it was looking kind of crazy. So I wanted to get kind of the full effect, but here is the finished granny square. I absolutely love these colors. I like this pink is just a little bit pinker in real life. It looks a little bit more white or just off-white here, but it definitely has a little hint of pink. I love the contrast of the textures here. This Drops Air is so wonderful to work with. I love it so much, and I can't wait to make the sleeves with this as well. I've never crocheted with this yarn, but it really looks beautiful crocheted as well. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and compare the sizes and see how close it is. Okay, we've got it right here on top of the other granny square, and it's pretty close. This Drops Air is slightly smaller than this Serenity Boucle yarn here. I think I'm gonna go with it, y'all. I'm excited. I love this color combination. I cannot wait to see what the other yarns look like. I wish this yarn right here was a little bit more neon and not just like a hot pink, but like a neon. This, I think, has similar tones to this. I still think all in all, it's gonna look super pretty. This is definitely one of my most worn sweaters, and so I knew that I wanted to make another one. I think this is gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. This is definitely something I want to finish for fall that I've shared in my WIP video and then also my most recent podcast. If you didn't catch my other 2 videos where I shared this project, it's from the book Glorious Crochet Sweaters. I got this book from a thrift store. Specifically, I think it's the Autumn Jacquard cardigan. I really want to finish this. I started it once, and as I mentioned in my last video, the graph was kind of on 2 different pages, and so I got off on my count, and so I ended up frogging the whole thing, which was a nightmare. But I've started again. I've gotten this this far and I just need to get going on it again. For this sweater, I used the Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, and I really love this yarn. It's super soft. These are definitely fall colors, so I'm excited to finish this one. I think it might take a while. I thought about redoing the whole graph in stitch fiddle just to make it easier for myself to follow, but honestly, I started doing that and then just never finished it. So I think I just need to buckle in and read the graph and just keep going. Just keep going so I can finish this thing and wear it because I really, really want to. So that is really high priority, really high on my list. Once we get stuff going in the queue, then I will put stuff in the order of priority. Another thing I want to finish for fall for sure are these paint box socks. I got one of these for my daughter because she needed some wool socks and they were on sale, and so I just got another one for myself. I think they were like $7 or $8 for a skein, so you can get a pair of socks out of this, and they're self-striping or self-patterning. So I'm very excited to get going on this project. I can't remember which color was mine and which color was hers, so I'm gonna have to ask her which one she wanted. I believe this one right here is the striping, and then this I think is the patterned, but we'll see once we knit them up. I have a whole video planned for this, and I think this would be, of course, a great Socktober video. So I really want to get started on this. I'm not quite sure when to start it. I may start it in September. Of course, we're almost in September, but I may start it at the end of September so that I can have it ready for Socktober. I mean, socks take a while, and especially if you have other projects, then I don't even know if I could get 2 pairs of socks done in a month. That would be interesting. I guess it would be a good challenge. Maybe that's a challenge we need to do. So I'll add this to my fall list. Go back to my profile, click on queued, and add to queue. I've never tried this. Let's just see what this is. So pattern name. First we'll do the Douglas cardigan, since I know that's in here. Here it is, Douglas Cardi. We will add in Go Handmade, Cozy. Let's see. That's it. I'm gonna have to count how many skeins. Make for myself. Finish by. I may wait on my finish by for some of these, or for most of these, just because I want to get all of them put in the queue first, and then that way it'll give me a better idea of when I want to finish it by. Well, it does have a little spot here where it says I don't know the exact day, so I think we'll do that for now, and then we'll go back later and then add in a date if I know when the date's going to be. When do we want to finish this by? Let's just say the first day of fall, which is September 22nd. Because that will be fun to have that done on the first day of fall. So we'll plan on September 22nd. Hopefully I can stick to that. And I'll write all my notes here. So let's go ahead and click Save Changes. And so that is number 1. I can always change the order. It says change order here, so it looks like it's pretty easy to do that. Let's go ahead and add another project. So here I've got all my fall projects in my Ravelry queue. Now I do have other WIPs that are not in here, and I might add those in later, but for now these are just the ones we talked about in this video. So I've got first this Douglas cardigan by Andrea Mowry, and then I've got the Tove sweater where I was going to use the vintage yarn. This is the autumn jacquard cardigan that's from Gloria's Crocheted Sweaters, and then I have the 2 pairs of the essential socks by Paintbox Yarns, and then down here I've got the granny stitch sweater by my friend Marquita. She's got a tutorial for that I will link down below. This is what I wanted to make for my daughter. It just has a picture of the yarn here. These just automatically put in the picture here for the essential socks, and then because the Gloria's Crochet sweaters did not show up, it just went ahead and put a picture of the brushed alpaca silk from Drops, since that's the yarn that I'm using. I'm going to play around with it a little bit more and just add in tags, of course, and then see if I can get a little bit more specific with the yarn. But I hope if any of you are new to the Ravelry queue, that was a little bit helpful. You can change the order if you click on this little 1, 2, 3 bullet points. They look like bullet points if you click on this, and it shows you all of your projects, and then you can just drag them. If you want to change this one to number 1, you can always do that. And so you can move them all around if there's one that you want to finish first. So I hope that's helpful. Another feature that I thought was really cool, if you're new to the Ravelry queue, is down here at the bottom. There's a little message that says drag this bookmarklet, add to Ravelry queue to your bookmark bar, and then you click it when you're browsing through the web and you see a pattern that you like. You can just add it to your queue from there. So I think that's super convenient and really cool.